Hi, good morning, and it is Mrs. Mummypenny Talks time for my weekly podcast, chat, Facebook Live, whatever you want to call it. I am here to talk to you about money and stuff that I've been up to in the past week. So hope you appreciate the festivities today. So I'm all coordinated. I know, red lips, red hair, orange jumper, tinsel behind me. I've got a big tinsel arch behind, not arch. I've got tinsel hanging down from an archway between my living room and dining room that Josh, my middle son, designed at the beginning of December. So yeah, I like it. It keeps falling down. Every day I come downstairs, there's more tinsel on the floor. But never mind. So yes, what have I been up to and what am I going to talk to you about today? So I'm going to talk to you about talk radio. This is very exciting. This is a new thing that I'm going to be doing. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing it, but I started it this week. So back in, when was it? November, when I was on the Chase. One of the producers from the Business Breakfast Show of Talk Radio saw me on the Chase, saw me talking about the fact that I was a personal finance blogger. He thought that I talked really well on TV, so he tracked me down and we spoke the next day, and he asked if I would be one of the personal finance contributors to the Business Breakfast on Talk Radio. So every day they have a personal finance expert almost coming in like a journalist, researching some personal finance things that were in the news the previous day and talking about it on the radio. So I'm a standby person, so I don't do it regularly. I just do it when maybe people are on holiday or people can't attend. So I did my first one this week. But what I wanted to do on this podcast was talk you through some of the items I spoke about on the radio show, because it was actually really interesting. So I spent some time on Sunday just going through personal finance news and working out or some interesting stories to talk about. The first story that jumped out to me, which I sent off to Talk Radio, and they were like, "This is not personal finance, you can't talk about this," was the $120,000 banana, which was stuck to a wall with some duct tape. Did you see this? And some comedian went into the art gallery and took it off the wall and ate it, and apparently they just replaced it with another banana. But anyway, I just thought that was a funny story, but not personal finance related at all, apart from it's a huge amount of money to spend on a ridiculous piece of art. But no, what I did talk about was so 5 topical issues. So I chose having a second-hand Christmas. So I found there was a woman, I think it was written in The Sun, who has saved an amazing amount of money through buying all of her presents either locally to save on petrol and stuff like that, but also she's got loads of things secondhand, and it just got me thinking about the amount of things you can buy secondhand where the recipient of the gift wouldn't even know they were secondhand. So like electronics and computer games, there's always loads and loads of them on local Facebook pages, eBay, all these, Gumtree, all these selling sites where you can pick up the games in their original packaging and everything for great prices. Even in my local charity shop, you can get they've got toiletry boxes. They're unopened, unused, like gift boxes. So yeah, I think there's some incredible things you can find in charity shops and on the secondhand selling pages for people. Even Lego sets, but you could pick them up for secondhand, although Lego, that often goes up in value, doesn't it? I think Lego is quite a good investment. But yeah, so that was the first thing I talked about. I also talked about to do your children sometimes get gifts of money from relatives, maybe from the grandparents. So maybe think about, don't give the kids the money to spend. Put it into something like a junior ISA, or even you can put the money into a pension, and let the money grow and grow and grow over the years. And if you start putting that in when the kids are like really little, like mine are 7, 10 and 12, they've got so many years of compound interest, that's interest being paid on interest, that money will turn into an incredible amount of time by the time they can access it at the age of 55 or whatever age that pension age will be in all those years' time. But I know the boys certainly get some money from their grandparents. So yeah, why not just siphon it away? So those are the Christmassy things I talked about. I also talked about mortgages and self-employment. Sorry, my computer just switched off. Record. Mortgages and self-employment. So something that is very an issue for a lot of self-employed people. It is a lot harder to get a mortgage when you're self-employed. I am going through this at the moment. It's not like you need 3 months of pay slips. If you're earning £20,000 a year, then you can pretty much get 4 or 5 times the multiple of that for your mortgage offer. When you're self-employed, you need like 2 years worth of accounts, and every company looks at different things. So some companies take your profitability into account, some take your dividends, some take your salary you pull out plus your dividends, and it's a very complex matter. The amount of paperwork you have to produce is a lot as self-employed. So yeah, it is harder. I've written about it on my website, actually. I wrote a post about a month or two ago with Trussell, just about how complex it is, and they're actually working really hard to try and make it easier for self-employed people to get a mortgage, and they are going to be helping me hopefully in January to get a new mortgage based on self-employed earnings. Now I'm trying to think, there were 2 other things I talked about. There was money being transferred between bank accounts and people putting in the wrong bank details and losing their money. So I read a case about a man in Cambridgeshire who inherited like a lot of money. We're talking £100,000. No, it was £180,000 from his dad, and he put the wrong bank details into the paperwork after the death of his father. So and it took him something like 6 months to track the money down. I mean, obviously it's quite an extreme case of this, but if you realise you've put the wrong bank details down for a payment that was due to you, or somebody else has put the wrong bank details, just talk to your bank and trace it. And I don't know why on earth this man took 6 months to get hold of all this money, but most banks have signed up to a code of conduct where they will actually sort out getting the money for you as quickly as possible. So just double check, triple check the bank details you've been given if you're doing a bank transfer. Lots of them going on at the moment because of joint presence and stuff. So always worth double checking that. And there was one other thing I talked about, which I can't remember what it was. Oh, it'll come to me. But yeah, so I'll be going on talk radio quite regularly now. The only bad thing is that I have to be up at 5:30 in the morning to go do it. I do it from home, do it via Skype, but yeah, it's an early start, 5:30. And so what else have I got? Well, it's a busy week this week. Christmas stuff at school goes into full flow. So we've got nativity this week. Jack is a donkey. Really not impressed. I was on an Amazon boycott, and oh my gosh, I gave in. I actually bought something from Amazon, donkey ears and a donkey tail, which I could have made, but he was like, no, I don't want you to make it. So that was £4 spent on donkey ears and a donkey tail, and he's wearing grey shorts and a t-shirt. Didn't want the donkey outfit. And I've still got about like half the presents to buy for the boys, but I'm getting there. I'm doing like a couple each day. I've got a couple more arriving today. I'm doing well. I'm feeling like I'm nearly prepared for Christmas. Me and the boys are off to Cornwall for Christmas, going back to see my family for the first time in about 8 years, I think. Haven't been home to Cornwall for a really long time, because it was quite quite a hassle to go there with 3 kids and all the presents, you know, the massive presents when they're littler, but it's easier now. So yeah, we're going down for 4 days. Can't wait to be near the sea. Sennen and Porthcurno, my favourite beaches in the world. The boys love Sennen as well, full of sand dunes, so they can go jumping off of them. And yeah, we're driving back very, very early on Boxing Day, and I'm thinking I'm going to take like some decent time off over Christmas. It really quietened down. I have a couple of things. I have a couple of things lined up that I need to push live over Christmas, but not too much work. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to take some decent time off, because time off when you are self-employed. I was writing a post yesterday about some of the things that cost you money when you're self-employed, that you almost take for granted when you're employed. And yeah, holiday pay and sick pay. Like, I've worked every holiday this year, a few hours a day each of the days I've been on holiday. And yeah, I can do that with my business because it's an online business, but it would be nice to have the time off, a week off of not thinking about it. So yes, that's my Mrs. Mummypenny Talks this week. What other money saving bargain things have I done? I've been spending my cashback vouchers. I've told you about top cashback before, haven't I? I was able to get I pull it out in small chunks. I got £30 worth of vouchers that I pulled out this week. So it's cash you can pull out, or you can turn it into vouchers for a shop and you get a little bit of an extra bonus. So yeah, pulled out £30 and that paid for 2 Christmas presents. Really does feel like free money. And yeah, all my Black Friday purchases are all starting to arrive, and yeah, I've managed to get some really good bargains there. So yeah, don't spend too much money. I will reiterate the message which I've said many times on the radio shows I've been doing. Keep the list succinct of presents you're buying. Don't go over the top. Stick to a list. Only get people what they want. I was listening to my friend Zoe Morrison on Women's Hour yesterday. Yay, go Zoe, going on Women's Hour. She was talking about an eco thrifty Christmas, and she was reiterating the message of, yeah, rationalise your list. Don't go mad with presents. Don't buy things for everybody, because I think a lot of those people, you might be giving them stuff they might not want anyway, or you might get stuff that you might not want. One of the quotes, £42 million worth of gifts given at Christmas are just unwanted, just not wanted presents. So yeah, be careful with what you buy and who you buy for. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching. Quite a short one today, 13 minutes. It's all right. I will see you next week I think I will probably make next week my final one before Christmas, and then I'll be back in the new year. So I'll be sure to build up lots of last minute money saving ideas for the show next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.